Hello, beginning farmer friends. I am back, sort of, hopefully, maybe. I know it's been months since I've made a YouTube video, but big news means let's make a YouTube video. Of course, we've got one John Deere on the farm, the John Deere 4430, and now we've got another John Deere on the farm, the newest thing with a motor. Okay, the newest tractor-y thing with a motor that I own, a John Deere 250 skid loader. Now, this is a big deal, and I want to take a couple seconds this morning to explain it all, because it kind of makes sense and it kind of doesn't make sense. Alright, as you can tell, this is a John Deere 250, or as I said, this is a John Deere 250 skid loader, and as you can tell, I've got a lot to learn about it, namely like how do you get into this thing and wedge your body in, and this door, it's not like a swing open door like that, it's a slide up on tracks door. So many questions, namely, why did I buy a skid loader? A skid loader is not a cheap thing. It's another engine on the farm. I've rented skid loaders in the past. They are great, they are awesome, but why did I buy one? And let me tell you a little bit about it. Let's get the easy question out of the way first. Why did I buy it? And simply put, I bought it because I've got a decent amount of skid loader work that I want to do. And when I say skid loader work, I'm not talking about just day-to-day use of the skid loader, although I could see myself really enjoying this, or not enjoy it, well, okay, yes, enjoying it. But I could see myself really getting a lot of use out of this day-to-day in the future. But specifically what I'm saying is there are projects that I want to do, some fencing projects, some land clearing projects, wood clearing projects, or woodlot clearing projects that I want to do, and some cleaning up projects that I want to do. And as I started to run the numbers on what it would cost to rent a skid steer in order to do those projects, although it would have been a nicer skid steer than this, the number kind of started to get high to the point where I thought, well, what if I just bought a skid steer? The thinking is if we do all these projects, we get to the end of the summer, end of fall, whatever it takes, and we say, hey, we really need the cash and not the skid loader at this point, then we sell the skid loader. I don't know if we'll be money ahead or money lost. I think we'll be money ahead if you considered what we would have to do to rent. So that's the idea behind purchasing a skid loader at this point in our farm. Oh, I am excited about it. Let me tell you a little bit about it, and specifically why I purchased this skid loader. Probably the best way that I can describe why I bought this particular skid loader is to show you this particular piece right here. This is a sprocket from my grinder mixer. It's not broken, but I've got a set screw stuck in it, and I can't get the set screw out, and I can't get the set screw to go in, more importantly, and so that sprocket keeps coming off when I'm trying to grind feed. What I'm trying to say is I am not very mechanical, and this skid steer, although it's 22 years old, has had a decent amount of work done to it, and it only has 1,700 or yeah, just a little over, no, 1,800 hours. Just a little over 1,800 hours on it, I believe. It had a complete rebuild in the engine. It's been sandblasted and painted. It's got the gear boxes, or the chain drive boxes, and the hydro motors have been serviced on the wheels as far as the chassis and all of that stuff that goes together. It's got the weight kit on the back, which allows you to do a little more lifting without hitting a tipping point. It's clean. It is very, very clean. It was owned by a John Deere technician for 10 years. He did all the work on it. It's a big deal to me to know that I can have something that, you know, it's 22 years old. There's going to be things that break on it, but to know that a lot of the major things have been done. A lot of the hoses, including hoses underneath, lines and hoses underneath the cab, those have all been replaced. I just can't say how much that matters to me. The other thing is that there were specific things that I needed and wanted in order to do the projects that I have. One of those things in particular were these auxiliary hydraulics. I want to be able to run things like a tree puller, kind of a pincher that can come in and grab some trees. Here we got a bottle cap in there. I don't know if you can hear it. But I needed to have those so that we could run that cheer puller, we could run a post hole digger, we could run a grapple bucket, just different implements that we can use in order to complete the projects that I want to get done. And then the door, which kind of seems like not a big deal, especially since this unit does not have air conditioning, does not have a radio, but it does have a door. It does technically have heat. Don't think I'll need it this summer. But I wanted the door because there's some projects that I want to get done and some cleaning that I'm going to do with this unit that is just dusty, and just it's a comfort thing. I'll be completely honest. It's just a comfort thing to have the dust or less dust on me. That was another thing that I wanted. And like I said, just the inside, the interior, it's pretty good shape. It's basically ready to go. There are a couple gremlins with the lights, looks like a little grounding issue, so we'll get that figured out. Let me show you the inside, because I've got a lot of learning when it comes to this unit. So I was way off. It does have 1,700 hours, not 1,800 hours. You get the idea. It's a fairly low hour machine for a 22-year-old machine. It also has these controls that I'm not super familiar with. I don't know what they're called, but basically I've got two of these deals, one here, one here. These are kind of like my tank drive, I guess I would say. This one controls the left, that one controls the right, and then this controls my boom if you kind of tilt your wrist. And this one right here controls my bucket if you tilt your wrist. I don't know what those controls are called, if they're case controls or whatever. There are foot pedals. They don't do anything other than one of them does run the hydraulics, the auxiliary hydraulics. That's it. That's the basics on my John Deere 250 skid steer. I'll have a lot more to tell you in the coming weeks and days, or days and weeks as I figure it out, hours, whatever it is. But did I get a deal on it? That's the thing everybody always asks. I don't think I necessarily got a deal. I don't think I got a bad deal. I think I just paid what the going rate is for it right now. Now we've got to figure this deal out, which after days of me trying to figure it out means going to my cousin's house. So, good news for you. You're the real farmer. Yep. We're down to drill it. Yep. Had a shot. Well, just like that, we got it all put back together. We did not video everything to protect the innocent, because we might have done some sketchy things. And by we, I mean my cousin, because he's the only one that fixed it. I feel like there's so much to update you on right now, because it's been a long time since I've done any of these podcast things. And where did that thing go? So first of all, what we ended up doing with this was just drilling a whole brand new hole. I don't know if I had said that specifically. It just, in the end, we couldn't get it out. So this was the easiest solution. I would like to have a longer set screw. I just have these little short guys right here. So I don't know if this is the way a professional farmer would do it, but I'm gonna put two of them in there because two is better than one, I think. Some of these new things you'll see over time, but I'll kind of just give you a rundown of the new things that have happened on the farm or are happening on the farm. That way when they show up, you'll understand, well, that just happened in the interlude. That's what we'll call this time when I wasn't making any videos. One thing is I got a new to me truck. A lot of you might know my Uncle Lauren. He's been in many videos before. He got a new truck, so in turn I got a new truck. It's out there. It's not a lot different than my old truck. Just a slightly newer, less mile diesel truck. The other thing is, Well, let me get this chain on and I'll tell you. One big piece of news on the farm that I haven't updated lately is this freezer. If you've been following along on the channel for a long time, you would know that I had this walk-in freezer. It's 10 foot by 12 foot. I was super excited to get this freezer installed because then we would just gain so much efficiency with the amount of meat that we could put in it, how we could pre-pack for market, have coolers ready, slide them right in the trailer, the whole 9 yards. That's part of the reason that we put the concrete on the floor in here, was so that we could get this freezer. Freezer's for sale right now. So that's that. We got the grinder mixer put back together. It's time to grind some feed. Well, the good news is I got the grinder mixer empty. The bad news is I've still got issues there. Thank you all so much for watching. It's just been awesome to get back, and hopefully you enjoy this. If you do enjoy it, put a comment down below. Let's see if I can get caught back up on the comments and start making some videos, as we're going to get into hay season and pasture season. The cows are out on grass right now. It's all going to start crack-a-lacking here. I've got so much to catch you up on. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day whenever it is and wherever you are.